When I began Anime Sicko's podcast, I didn't collaborate with any notable internet personalities and just stayed cooped up recording nonsense with another layabout guy. But now I was a brand spanking new podcast host entering the Anime Sicko's weird era, and countless doors to the mystical treasure that is known as that rose-colored podcast life lay open before me. I was half-swooned with glee, and the one I chose was a Tatami Galaxy episode with MinovskyArticle, sharer of rejuvenating photographs and screenshots of edifying manga. Among the raven-haired podcasters working up an invigorating response, I would begin the download of success, is what I, a fool beyond all help, had thought. My still as-of-yet rose-colored self was cut to the quick by that which is called reality. Earning 1 million downloads wouldn't be so bad, or so I frivolously thought, but I was soon made aware just how difficult casually convincing other people to listen to your show could be. My wish of a hit podcast unfulfilled, I was not even able to post back, and my episodes were left unlistened. I tried training myself to be sociable and easygoing, but I wasn't part of the conversation to begin with. By the time I realized I had to be sociable in order to be included in the conversation, it was already too late. I had lost my place among the circle. I can't shake off the feeling of regret for choosing Tatami Galaxy, a niche anime over 10 years old, not even a single fight scene, as my episode topic in that fateful Discord chat with Minovsky. If then I had chosen some other topic, the episode would have surely had a very different reaction. Perhaps I could have grasped that mystical treasure that is known as that rose-colored podcast life. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Anime Sicko's podcast. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast where we talk about the 4 pillars of modern mystery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Tom, an Anime Sicko.
And I am Minovsky, an Anime Sicko, a.k.a. Casey is one of the 3 load-bearing Caseys of the Gesto era of Anime Sicko's podcast.
You told me that since, yes, in the weird era, there are 3 Caseys now. And I was just like, what are you fucking talking about? There was Casey Tony, there's you, that's it. And it did not occur to me, because Casey Green spells his name different, but like, yo, that's the same. This is the kind of incredible insight you're going to get all episode first. But before we get to the insight, I have 2 patrons to thank who've patronized us on Patreon. Here are they. First, Gesundheit, like from sneezing. Thank you for your patronage. You say thank you.
Oh, yes, thank you.
And our second new patron, this is a long-time Tom's Record Club participant in the Discord. We have a special Patreon exclusive music show called Tom's Record Club. It rules. And you don't have to be on Patreon to be a part of it. You can just talk about the albums in the Discord with us, as Platinum Quilt did. But she has joined up in the Patreon, and for that I say thank you.
Thank you. Hey, and if you're here because for whatever reason you wanted to listen to me talk about the Tatami Galaxy, I've also been on the Record Club talking about Yellow Magic Orchestra. So please join us there as well.
That was a great episode and a great fucking record. Holy shit. If you don't know about YMO, you gotta YM go and check that shit out.
If you don't know, now you know.
This is real. You mentioned Tatami Galaxy, Casey. And now, folks, do not adjust your podcast machine. We're doing another anime episode, and it's not a funny stretch where we define something that's clearly not anime as a bit. We watch a show for you so that we could then talk about it. For you is wrong, because I fucking love, like, we both love this show, right? This is not new to either of us.
No. But it was a great reason to revisit an old favorite.
I was saying before we started recording, and I'm like, is this too much like the zeal of the recent watcher? I was thinking, like, if someone comes up to me and says, Tom, I want to watch one anime ever, and none ever again, just one. I want the best one. I seriously think that this would be my answer to Tatami Galaxy.
It's a strong contender. A strong contender for that pick. I would agree with you.
Folks, if you don't know about Tatami Galaxy, well, 1, you're going to find out. 2, like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think up, like, a smart thing to say, but the only thing that's going through my head is, like, this shit is so good. Like, it is unbelievable how good this is in a way that is not, like, I always sort of like, anime, it's good, but it's got, like, dumb parts. Like, it's a show for children at the end of the day.
You have no caveats on this one.
Yes. Legitimately, like, this is great art. I think part of it, not a big part, but, like, you can tell from the writing and structure and sort of general artistry of this show that it was based off of a novel. And I say that and you might be thinking like, oh, is it wrong to be a pervert in the dungeon? That's based off a novel. Like, it's based off a light novel. This is based off a heavy novel. This is like
a 300 plus page novel.
And you can really tell because I don't think I've seen an anime with more words in it than this. This is writerly in a huge way.
Yes, and I believe, so something I was fortunate enough to do many years ago was I was able to see the director Masaki Yuasa in person. I'd went to a convention that he was premiering the follow-up movie to this, The Night is Short, So Walk On Girl, and I was able to ask him a question at a panel. And one of the things I'd asked him was, because he was making that movie that's also based on another novel by this author.
A novel that is mentioned in the Tatami Galaxy anime as a novel that is read by the protagonist who dismisses it as young adult crap.
Yeah, and that shows the cover and everything. Yeah, and I asked him, and he kind of explained that, like, Tatami Galaxy wasn't something that he initially sought. It was something he was approached by the publisher with, because there was aspects of this that were kind of considered unadaptable. And Masaki Yuasa was making a name for himself with, like, really experimental animation. So it was brought to him as, like, do you think this is something you could do? And, he read it and he loved it. And after making this, that's why he then wanted to make the movie. Like, he pursued them for the movie. But it's just a perfect marriage of, his experimental animation sensibilities and the literariness of the novel. And something I'm sure we're going to get into, too, is how fast all of the characters talk. And he explained that one of the reasons that is because he was trying to maintain as much of, like, the literary meat of the book as possible. And the only way he could think to do that was to have the characters give as much of the text as they could in the short time they have.
ラリーどころかまともに打ち返すことも叶わず、打ったボールは返ってこない。柔軟な社交性を身につけようにもそもそも会話の中に入れない。会話に加わるための社交性をどこかよそで身につけてくる必要があったと気づいた時にはすでに手遅れであり、私はサークルで居場所を失っていた。
It is unbelievable. Well, first of all, 100% the correct choice. Like, as a director and showrunner, like, yes. And that is so tough because if you are, for example, writing a script for an audio drama, you will learn very quickly that what seems like a reasonable amount of writing on the page when spoken aloud is insane. It's just like a absolute brick that goes on and weighs everything down, and you have to cut this shit to the bone. And I say that as though I did. I consider it to the bone, but I had no editor who actually was like, Tom, come on. But
some darlings died along the way.
Yes, but like the darlings in the Tatami Galaxy are so beautiful that to kill them would be a big crime. So instead, he put all of them in so smart. And like the show's pacing, it's very snappy, and especially with the structure, which we'll get to, episode structure. But it moves so fast, and it's constantly going to new places, and the
amount of visual stuff going on too never makes you feel weighed down by the dialogue. Like you're not looking at like still images the whole time. You're looking at so many colors and images, just live action, animation, all this stuff just flashing by.
It's truly astonishing, and to be able to fit in that much text and the language in such a short period, and which again you have to do because like this text, this language, these words are the treasure, means that your guy is spitting fucking bars constantly. And also this is another reason why I think it's very clear that this is adapted from like a real novel, like by a artistic writer. you know? Because the experience of watching this as an English speaker is you gotta be fucking speed reading constantly. There will be like 25 words on the screen, and like they're gonna be there for 2 seconds. Go.
Yeah, there were a couple times where I would find myself having to pause just to make sure I didn't miss an important detail flying by. So it is a very like focused viewing experience. This is not one you're going to have on in the background while you're like looking at your phone.
It is only 11 episodes. To be
It's short, which is
so
critical to the, if I watch one anime, I feel like you want to give somebody a short one to see if they like anime or not. You don't want to tell them to watch like the 200 episode juggernauts.
So I think we should mention the premise of the show, because the premise of the show also speaks to why it must be so wordy and so literary and so convoluted and introspective in its language. We follow the protagonist, never named, who is some fucking guy who is in university in Japan, and the goal of his existence is to live the rose-colored campus life. And the reason that he is having trouble with that is that every second of his existence, he is in his head talking about all the things that are happening to him, understanding why they're happening and what he should do about them, and laying out all of the insane rules he has made up that he thinks he has to follow and will not tell anyone about, that put shackles on his behavior and cause him to mourn even more the fading chance that he will live that rose-colored campus life. And then he has to, of course, explain why that's so bad and how that makes him feel. And then that leads him into another spiral of like, I'm trying to live the rose-colored campus life, but what am I doing instead? What am I doing? I'm just actually thinking about all the ways that I've failed to have a rose-colored campus life. Is it the choices that I've made, or is it perhaps me? And you see that shit that I was just pattering, that's the show.
A show that they did not dub, by the way.
How could they?
No, they couldn't.
The way the Japanese language sounds when sort of pattered out in that hyper nervous constant with the unstressed syllables. Oh my god, the unstressed syllables. It's just constant. You're getting like pummeled by this guy's stupid fucking thoughts. They're coming so fast and so hard, and they're all sort of so flat and at the same. I love it.
There are so many things that attempt to capture the feelings of anxiety and depression, and I still feel like this guy's inner monologue hits it harder than almost anything else I've seen.
I mean, the fact that it is so wordy and so relentless, and like that it can even pass you by, like it can be too much and you can't hold on to the words as they're shooting past you. It's like yes, like I've lived that. Like that's me.
It's the feeling of exhaustion of being you internally. Yes. Sometimes, you know?
Yes. That feeling of just like, I know that this shit that's running around in my head, these stupid fucking words that I'm telling myself over and over and over are ruining everything, but I'm saying them anyway. Like, oopsie. It doesn't hurt that the guy is a generic dark-haired dude. So I'm like, that's me. That's me from life.
Yeah, this is my college years, for better and worse. And we bring that up though, like the anxiety depression issue, but like the show itself doesn't talk about it in those terms. It is just experiential about that. Like it's not something that kind of just asks you to consider that very much. It's just you are along for this person's point of view, and it's exhausting to you because it might be somebody else's point of view, but like you yourself have probably been in that exact same position. So you'll find both exasperation but also empathy with the character.
Because if you asked protagonist, our hero, like, are you anxious and depressed? He would say, no, how dare you even say that? I'm fine. I'm doing great. I'm on my way to my rose-colored campus life. It's just that there's all these ridiculous circumstances and all of these people who are out to fucking get me, who are ruining everything. And actually, like, if I had just, like, I must have made a mistake somewhere. And if I had just done everything if I had just made an app that did everything perfectly, then, like, it would all be good because I'm like right there. I'm like right on the cusp. And you see, like, that's part of what's so frustrating about this is that I'm like right on the cusp. I'm like, and I could do it. I could be living that rose-colored campus. Like, I'm doing it again. This is so natural to me. what a show. What a show. Okay, should we talk about what the structure of the episodes is, or is there anything else we got to get to? Okay.
Sorry, real quick. I did want to say too, the visual style of the show, the character designs. The character designs are also based on the cover artist, the style of the cover artist for the novels, who also does all of the album covers for the band Asian Kung Fu Generation, who does the theme song of the show.
Great song, great theme song. Amazing.
Yeah, this is the artist Yusuke Nakamura, who draws like, the characters are typically very pale, but they're in like vividly colorful backgrounds and very colorful worlds, and usually wearing very trendy looking clothes. But yeah, they very early on they said that like they had already decided like, okay, we're going to try to animate the way that the cover artist draws,
and the colors are all. What I'm about to say sounds like it's derogatory. It's not. Flat. By which I mean, when something's colored a certain color, it is that color the entire way. There's no shading or gradient. It is just, if someone's wearing an orange shirt, it is block orange, and that is all it is. It's a very sort of, especially with the pale characters, it's such a stark and visually interesting world, and especially when so often the backgrounds are photographs or video that has been overlaid with a filter that makes it look somewhat animated.
And because this is set in Kyoto, the team did go to Kyoto for a month to take video of actual places in Kyoto, which they incorporate throughout the series.
It looks, I'll tell you folks, astonishingly good. I love it. And also, this is another reason why I would pick this as the anime to watch if it was the only anime you were going to watch in your life. They don't look like anime characters. It doesn't look stock. The character design is stylized for animation as it must be, but it's got a unique identity that a show like this needs to have because it is so unique.
It's an aesthetic that feels very Japanese without feeling extremely anime, as people identify it.
Yeah, I mean, what is the anime house style? Anime house style is like, we know we've done fucking focus groups to know what cute is, and so this is that.
Yeah, close your eyes, think of the word anime, and whatever comes to mind is what anime is.
Yeah, but this is not that. It's I love it. I'm not going to get too into it because it's a fool's errand to try to describe visual things with words on a podcast.
But structural things we can describe.
Yes. What is the structure, Casey?
So the structure, which is not immediately clear in the first episode, is that every single episode, the protagonist joins a different club at the college, described as a circle, and we get to see the consequences of that decision, the people he meets along the way, and the events that lead to the very end of an episode where he decides that those 2 years that he spent in that circle were wasted for one reason or another, and then resets back to the beginning. Usually like an image of a clock tower spinning backwards and the sound of rewinding, which immediately cuts to credits. And then we start over with that, I joined this circle, here's the same speech, and then we continue on in this seemingly like Groundhog Day-esque time loop.
It's fucking great, folks. Every single opening, it's the animation and just visual design on the scene where he picks what circle is going to lead him to his rose-colored campus life, because that's the reason he's joining his circle. It's like in high school I didn't do anything and I had a miserable time. I just stayed in with some fucking nobodies. And now, like, to have a rose-colored campus life, I need 100 friends, and so I just got to pick the best circle. And he's in this scene where he's thinking all of this. We have the beautiful sakura blooms in the background. It is all rose-colored, and there are just these endlessly like rippling rows of hands with flyers, and he's walking by with this huge smile on his face. Which one am I gonna pick? And when he picks one, his arm becomes insanely long and it snaps down. Bam! This is what it's gonna be. And
and the motivation behind almost all of them, to a certain degree, is this image he has of like the perfect platonic Japanese woman, this raven-haired beauty that is going to be his reward for having chosen a path among these, unlimited possibilities.
Yes. He has this image in his head. It's like what I need to do. And what I will do is I will find something extremely fulfilling. All the people I meet will be exactly the people how I need to meet to enrich me and reward me for the great man I am.
It's almost friendship as grind set.
It's 100% that.
Yeah.
And yes, I will get the reward if I will meet the raven-haired maiden. She will be beautiful and perfect and demure, and I will hold my umbrella over her because I am a great gentleman, and this will be my rose-colored campus life. And joining the tennis club will be the way to do it. And it's okay. So all as Casey said, all of these episodes until the end are just like, okay, that was a fucking waste of time. I wasted my college life and I was miserable. I was supposed to be happy, and I was miserable instead. So what I needed to do done was pick a different circle. And in every one of these loops, the same things happen, would you believe it? He always meets the same guy who is his best friend. Can you describe this guy?
Yes, his best friend is we're told he looks like a yokai, a Japanese monster. And so his name is Ozu, and he is this onion-headed... He's got like a bowl cut, and he's always portrayed with this very circular mouth full of sharp teeth, like a fish.
He also has vertical eyes. His eyes go up instead of side to side.
Yeah, he is a goblin, as we are, shown him every time. And he's always, so, Japanese cultural things always mention that, like, the strings between the Thai lovers fated together are the red strings of fate. But with Ozu, he keeps saying that he is tied with this black string of fate, and it's always portrayed as him being dragged down into the Marianas Trench with Ozu.
Yes, or the protagonist is like a real guy, but Ozu is like just like a snake who is fully black, but with glowing eyes and teeth that is dragging him down to the depths.
And he always responds to the protagonist saying that he looks awful and evil, as you say really mean things.
Ozu is constantly doing he's got a finger in every pie. Ozu's always doing this and that. He's constantly knowing exactly what's going on in the protagonist's life when the protagonist is like, how do you know that?
No matter what circle the protagonist picked, Ozu has also somehow always picked that circle.
Mm-hmm. And whenever he knows something that he seems impossible for him to know, he's like, don't underestimate my information gathering network. He is so good. I love Ozu.
Yes, Ozu is a one-of-a-kind character. And one of the images that really sticks with me is that in the background of one of the episodes, there's a poster where you see Ozu's head as the Jaws poster.
No way. I missed that.
So yeah, that's in there. It's just like, again, like you're getting that like protagonist's eye view of just like, this is the awful guy that keeps showing up. And he is one of the primary, but not only reasons nothing ever works out for me.
Another character who always shows up is the master, Higuchi.
Yes.
Who is a 8th year student who doesn't seem to go to class or do anything. He wears a yukata. He has a big, ridiculous, bulbous chin.
Yeah, his head looks like a Japanese drinking gourd. Like something like what you'd see like Oran wearing in Final Fantasy X.
Fuck yes. And he just has a bunch of followers who call him the master, and he doesn't really do anything.
It's never clear what he's the master of. Like, he's just the master.
Just is the master.
He's Zen Jughead Jones.
You said this before we started recording, and I was just hit on my ass because it's so real. He likes to laze about and eat food and
eat gigantic portions of hot pots that don't make any sense. Like they're just whatever ingredients happen to be around.
Oh my god! Like that's one of his things. This is why he's the master. He has all just his disciples do mystery hot pot, where everyone brings in random stuff. They put it all in the hot pot in the dark, and you eat it in the dark. And he has this bullshit justification that it's just like, this is training for life, where you have to make do with it. You don't know what you're gonna get. You just got to make do with what you have. Is that perhaps at odds with a way of thinking that someone else in this series might have? It's too much for me. I'm media illiterate. I can't tell.
And is it also a very real depiction in a very abstract way of the true college experience, where you are just eating some wild shit to get by? Like,
yeah, someone else brought it. You don't know why you can't say anything about it because like this is it. This is your campus life. It's the only one you got. You can't rewind it.
And Higuchi's other defining features are he's constantly being pursued by the secret library police for fines he never pays, and that he is part of a generational prank war with another super senior in the school.
Yes.
And that it started centuries ago and nobody knows what the inciting incident was. But every few years, a new disciple has to come and replace these two in this ongoing proxy battle.
It's so good. And the remaining sort of character who always shows up is Akashi-san, who is, spoiler, the girl that our protagonist got to go out with. Mm-hmm. She is perfect for him, and it is obvious to everyone at the very beginning. She sort of has a very straightforward and... No, that's not a good way to put it. Everyone notes that, everyone who's not one of the main characters knows that when you speak to her, she has a very sort of literal and straightforward way of thinking that shuts down whatever the other person is trying to do. Like the thing that always gets shown is someone asks her, like, what did you do this weekend? And she says, I don't understand why I have to tell you that.
Yeah, she's portrayed as very, like, icy, or I think he even describes her as having, like the face of a European fortress at one point.
Yes.
But what he keeps not picking up on is that defense that's around everyone else is slightly down for him. She keeps allowing him in, and he doesn't pick up on this.
It's also, I mean, if you say defense, I mean, what it is just that she just has a very literal mind and like doesn't go with these social conventions,
right?
And other people are shocked by this,
yeah.
Which is a fucking guy like this who's always in his head needs someone who is just like living in the real world in a real way and will just say what is the case.
I share your introversion, but I'm also able to use that to navigate in the world that is.
He never goes out with Akashi-san because he has these, as I say, insane rules that he's invented for himself and would never, ever tell someone else about. That would be ridiculous. That would be so fucking gauche to say it. No, we can't say it. It has to live in my head only. My head, the most important place in the universe. And one of his insane rules is that, because right now I'm so fucked up, anyone who can identify with me now is not the right person for a rose-colored campus life. That's not a raven-haired maiden. A raven-haired maiden would see who I am inside now and be disgusted. So the fact that Akashi-san seems to want to spend time with me, well, that's... And if I were to just accept that, if I were to be like, okay, let's hang out, it's like, well, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? I'm only going out with her because I'm lonely, because I haven't met my raven-haired maiden yet. And isn't that so shallow to go out with someone just because you're desperate, just because you need something, rather than waiting for the person who's right for you? Ridiculous. That's not the way for the rose-colored campus. And you see, I'm doing it again.
And just choosing this person that has come to you and could be perfect for you, then limit you away from all these infinite possibilities that you imagined for yourself.
And also, the other character who constantly shows up in every loop is the fortune teller, who tells him the same thing every time, which is, opportunity is dangling right before your eyes.
Yes.
You just have to reach out and take it. And what she's referring to is, in every single episode, Akashi-san mentions that she has these 4 little stuffed bears on her bag. The
Mochiguma. Yeah.
And they come in sets of 5, but I'm missing one of them. But I have a feeling it'll find its way back to me. And would you believe our protagonist found it and tied it to his light switch cord in his room, and it is constantly dangling in front of his eyes. And you might be thinking, is it really this simple? Is the whole point of the show this guy so in his head and he needs to go out with Akashi-san? Yes. And
absolutely.
I think that's what makes the fact that it is so convoluted and it's such a weird structure and is so intensely wordy and just like intensely wordy, and the pace is so relentless, and it's going from here to there and all these problems, and he's going insane, and he's in his own head, he's driving himself nuts with what should I do, blah, 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 blah. And like the fact that the answer and that the message is fucking clear as day in episode 1. Mwah.
Especially because, like, how many times in your own life has the very obvious thing that's right in front of you been true, and for reasons of getting into your own head and in your own way, you didn't take that path?
Every day of my life, Casey.
Yes.
It's
To
the
this
only
day,
feeling
to
I've ever
this
had.
day.
It is just yes. It's so real. Like, oh God. I don't want to say like I feel seen because it's kind of a cliche, and what does that even tell you? It's very vague and hand wavy. However,
I am embarrassed to admit how much of my own college experience I see in this series, even though, like, you know, the specific details are not the same at all. But like, there is just this undercurrent of like common experience that's there that just hit me where I live.
I mean, if you are a nervous person who has let your own internal rules that you've decided for yourself for no reason get in the way of your life and your happiness, which if you're listening to Anime Sickos, I got terrible news. You are that person. If you were, you wouldn't enjoy this show.
Yeah, this
like,
bonds all of us.
You have to watch the Tatami Galaxy. It is I mean, I'll say it, representation matters. Just the fact of seeing something about yourself that you haven't expressed out loud in someone else's mouth in a piece of art that is separate from you. I mean, why am I even saying this? We all know since the fucking beginning of people telling stories that this was what it's all about. But like, man, the specificity and focus of the Tatami Galaxy makes it so special. So let's move on. We're talking about the structure. You're telling me, Tom, you tell me that there's 11 episodes where he goes back in time 11 times and picks 11 different circles. That seems like that would get pretty old. Well, yes, it would, which is why they don't actually do exactly that. About halfway through, his thought process for picking the ideal circle is, there is no one ideal circle. I will spread myself out over multiple circles, thus increasing my chances of the rose-colored campus life. And he picks 3, and in doing so, he gets into a 3-pronged sub-dilemma. Can you explain this?
Yeah, so we get into a trilogy of episodes where he finds himself stuck in his ideal branching path for relationships with 3 different women, and each episode is him going down the path of one of these different women and then resetting back to before he makes the decision. So it's kind of like he's trying to save scum a relationship. But critically, none of these women are Akashi. They are all women that we've either seen as background players in other stories, or a woman that he has never met. So the 3 that we are given are a heavy drinking dental hygienist, a sex doll that we have seen in another character's background stories.
Love doll.
So,
she is too elegant to be had sex with.
That's true. Yes, we do get into that. Yes, the owner of the doll, it treats it with the highest regard and buys it the fanciest clothes and brushes its hair every day. And the third person is a pen pal that he has been writing letters to for 2 years, and who offers to meet him that very night, where he has to be the guy that's trying to do the sitcom thing of being in 3 dates at the same time.
Oh God, these episodes are so fucking good, and they introduce another character who talk about, oh, that's me, that's from life. So folks, we make some jokes on Anime Sickos about never being horny. And that's the impetus for that is because to be horny is to sort of admit vulnerability. And we are perfect and we're geniuses and we would never do that. When our man gets horny, a funny cowboy comes out and starts yelling at him to fuck.
It is a drawstring cowboy with a Terrence and Phillip mouth.
It fucking is.
And he calls it my Johnny.
It's Johnny. And like,
And when we get, so first of all, this came out ages before the Pixar movie Inside Out, and this is maybe the funniest possible version of Inside Out, because we see other aspects of his brain, but we keep going back to Johnny, who is either shooting guns, riding a horse, and telling you to just do it already, or we see him repressed in a pen, surrounded by a vast nothingness.
or when he is allowed to run around on a hamster wheel, and we all know what
Yes.
that refers to.
Yeah, that's the off-screen self-touch. Is
I love the scenes with Johnny. Here's why. For one, it's just more fucking text. It's more language, because the Johnny is speaking as fast as him, and he has to be talking himself into these mental spirals to explain why it is right to deny himself and continue this pattern of self-denial. And also, as much as Johnny is speaking truth in like you are ruining your life and driving yourself insane with these spirals of inaction and this excuse making. In this particular instance, he shouldn't be having sex with any of these women.
No.
Hanuki-san, because the hygienist, because she's extremely drunk.
yes. And going through a hard time in relationships that are not working out for her. So it's a vulnerability thing. And we're even told later, like, oh yeah, when she drinks too much, she gets that way, and then she deeply regrets it later. So he has saved them both the pain of this by, in this case, repressing, Johnny.
And with the love doll, he's right not to fuck the love doll because it doesn't belong to him.
Yeah, he has been hired as a bodyguard for it.
And the place where he's considering doing it is public. Yes. And then he shouldn't be having sex with Keiko-san, this pen pal, because she's not real. She's not actually a person.
And the version of himself that he has been selling Keiko is also not real.
His whole thing is like, I'll embellish it a little and then I'll backfill myself with self-improvement so that by the time we meet, I will have done all those things.
Yeah, and then those 2 years pass by and he goes, wait, my aspirational mode I've been selling never became a reality even a little bit.
God. The thing that he always says in all of these episodes is when it comes the time to make the decision of which one do I go for, is unless I plan to become a Renaissance man of the sexual arts, I must choose but one. What a line. There are so many lines. And like, here's the thing. I mentioned this when we were talking with Paul Starr about translation ages ago, which is like, there are so many anime and manga where there are pieces of writing that I'm like, this is great writing. And this is like this is like art. This is like, I'm remembering this line forever because it's just so good. And then I have to remember, like, well, actually, I have no idea who wrote this. Because, like, obviously, some and should be all manga have the translator credited. But I was specifically talking about Good Night Pun Pun, which does not. There is no credited translator to English, so I have no idea who wrote those English lines. And similarly, I just downloaded the Tatami Galaxy. I don't know who wrote these subs. They sure did a great job, because some of these lines absolutely knock me flat on my ass. But I'm just like, I wonder how this hits in the original Japanese.
We have no way of knowing, and yet, like, the beauty of the translated phrase, the wit and all that has still come through burning. And like, you both understand the intent, but also you have these phrases that are now going to stick with you in English for the rest of your life.
God, it's so cool. Another thing that's occurring through all of these episodes is that every once in a while, there will be something that doesn't make sense. What does that mean? Well, there are characters who seem to know stuff that happened in earlier loops. Some of it is clearly just like a fourth wall joke, you know? It's like
the fortune teller that we see every episode keeps upping her price by another 1,000.
Yeah. So like, how there was one point where I watched 2 episodes out of order because I misremembered what the last one I watched was. And the way I knew is because I like, time to watch episode 5, and the fortune teller says 6,000 yen, please. And I'm like, this is episode 6. But the big ones is in episode 5, our hero is in his room, his apartment, which is a 4.5 tatami room in a crappy boarding house, the same boarding house that Higuchi, the master, lives in, which is how he always meets him. And through the wall pops a sort of haggard, bearded version of himself who's sort of yelling.
Urgently trying to get through, yeah.
So he pushes him back and puts a bunch of stuff in front of the wall and goes, I don't know what that was about, and we don't follow it up.
And the show does not focus back on that for several episodes.
Another point is, Casey, you mentioned the proxy war.
Yes.
So at one point, because of the circle he's in, our protagonist is unfortunately picked to be the master's successor in the proxy war, even though he does not want to do the pranks. And as it becomes clear that there is no way for him to get out of this, he finds a backpack in his room filled with a ton of money, which he assumes this was funds that Higuchi has given him to pay for the pranks. And it is never explained where this money, how he got this money, or why he gave it to him. And no one ever says anything about giving him the money. And again, you don't focus on it. It's just like, oh, I found this money for the prank war.
Yep. And then another critical thing in this loop that we keep noticing, if you're paying attention, is that there are certain events that keep playing out every time. Like some of the pranks Ozu pulls in one loop, hey, they happened in this other loop too.
Mm-hmm.
The breaking point for our protagonist, one of the things that leads to the finale, is him realizing that, like, Ozu, contrary to what just his limited perspective is, Ozu is not picking the same circle he is. The Ozu is in every circle. He's participating in everything. He has an ideal college life, and he has the raven-haired maiden girlfriend that the protagonist has never known about.
Yes, because
he's living the life I thought I was going to have.
There, at one point, he's talking to Hanuki, the dental hygienist, and she talks about Ozu because she knows him as well, because everyone knows Ozu, because as you say, he's involved with all of the groups. And she mentions, they're sort of like commiserating about how he's always getting into mischief. And our protagonist mentions that he does not even know where he lives. And it's like, oh, this is important information because he is your best friend and you're constantly going on and fucking on about all the ways that Ozu's irredeemable character traits are ruining your life. And it's like, you have not thought about like him ever. And
my
that's
man joined the English language club so that he could talk shit about Ozu in a language Ozu doesn't understand.
Yes, that's how he gets, because he's like, the English conversation club, he is too, you're not going to believe this, he's too in his head to speak English because he wants to only speak if he's going to get it perfect. And, well, he can't because he's learning. The only way that he can, like, use his emotions and his passion to just try is by doing O's News, where the actor speaks in English and is like, he is a big asshole. He's the
devil.
It's like, oh, I love it. But yeah, like, he's never actually like asked Ozu a question about his life. No. And like he meets in one of the episodes, he joins a circle, which is actually a front for a multi-level marketing scam by some company that sells special honey. And he wants in on this because the leader's daughter is the raven-haired maiden. She is portrayed exactly as the raven-haired maiden in his fantasies, which is she is glowing and has no face.
And as if pulled from the headlines, the existence of this front is all for someone to build an ark for the 2012 apocalypse so the billionaire can escape from it. So they imagine it's going to happen.
But like that's Ozu's girlfriend, who's he's been going out with the whole time, and it's
that
like,
we have only seen featureless as this imagined woman, just with long hair.
It's so good. Yeah. So as he realizes that, like, this whole time I thought Ozu was a yokai who I was connected to with the black thread of fate, who eats human suffering on top of 3 portions of rice, who exists only to vex me. He has not been existing only to vex me. He has been the main character of his own story, a better story than mine, and I'm just his buddy who he teases.
And we see ways that he has been trying to help you. I mean, even going back to the pen pal story, like that ends up being Ozu, but Ozu passes the pen pal stuff off to Akashi. So like the main character reads that as a betrayal and like, oh, he's pranking me. But there's the unspoken way of reading it too, which is he knows Akashi and you would be good together. So he's trying to set this situation up for you and you still can't take it.
And also there's just a very simple fact that like Homie doesn't make friends.
No.
And in every timeline, Ozu is his friend. Like, this is a weird antisocial guy who doesn't say or do much to other people. He says a lot to himself. He doesn't say or do much to other people. And Ozu always finds him and it's like, we're hanging out. You're my friend. We're going to do activities together. I love Ozu.
And any attempt that Ozu makes to do the normal friend friction of like, hey, I want to put you a little bit out of your comfort zone for your own good. He portrays as a, unreliable narrator to us as this awful demon is trying to deviate me from my perfect plan.
Because what are you supposed to do when you're in college? Obviously, you're supposed to live the rose-colored campus life. And so, like, anything that is trying to deviate me from my goal is, a yokai with no redeeming factors who wants nothing but for me to suffer. When he finally clocks the truth, Ozu is not this, and he's actually lived a rose-colored campus life himself. This demon who I thought was a pure avatar of waste and decay.
Mm-hmm.
He realizes something which Higuchi tried to tell. I wrote this down because this line...
It's a beautiful line.
This line is... there's actually two lines. I'm going to tell you them both. He mentions... this is like near the end of an episode where he's doing that sort of thing that he always does, which is just like, these 2 years have been a waste. I've wasted my life. And he says something about that to Higuchi. And Higuchi is about ready to give up being a super senior and travel the world. He's done with his life of leisure. It's time for him to do something new. And as he's contemplating his new life, and our protagonist is saying, my life, however, has been a waste, he says, your life has not yet begun. You are still doing overtime in your mother's belly. Mm-hmm. And he continues to say, in response to him saying, if only I could have done something different, if only I didn't make this one choice that sent me on the path of doom. He says, and again, I love this. I love when characters just turn to the screen and say the theme out loud without metaphor. You must accept that you are the person here now, and that you cannot become anyone else other than that person. This is why he's the master.
Yes, and also that there is no such thing as the rose-colored life. Life is a rose color with all the other colors mixed in.
God, the hot pot in the dark. Dude, yep. It's so real. I love the master. He's got a big chin. So we're going to talk about the movie probably in a Patreon only episode, just so that we don't do too Tatami Galaxy stuff. But like the characters in the movie are not the same characters as there is a love story with a free-spirited woman and a neurotic man who's constantly talking to himself in his head. So it's very much like a spiritual sequel, but these are not the same characters.
Several of the designs repeat. It's kind of like what Osamu Tezuka called his star system, where certain manga character designs he have repeat in other characters. And he's like, well, that's not the same character. It's that character I drew before as an actor performing a different role.
Well, is it not just Higuchi again?
I want to say there might be a couple others that repeat in various ways. So, but it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, so we'll revisit that and get back to it.
Movie's great. Oh gosh. So, as we get to this point where he realizes the truth, which is that it was never about the choices. He may pick something that causes him to do things a little bit differently, but in the end, he is always himself. He's always going to be in his head. He's always going to be talking himself out of experiences. He's always going to be justifying inaction. He is always going to be overanalyzing anything bad that happens to him, and he will judge things that are bad, that are not bad, and overanalyze them and catastrophize over how this has ruined everything. And it doesn't actually matter what the impetus was, because at the end, it's always just going to be him experiencing this shit as himself. And that's when he decides, I'm not going to pick a circle. I'm just going to stay in my 4.5 tatami room. And this is the last 2 episodes. And this is like the best 2 episodes of anime
truly
ever made.
A brilliant finale. And also, the ending credits we've seen that have not been explained to us up to this point, which show like tatami squares that keep expanding in different directions, like, into a labyrinth. And we realize only now that what we are seeing is the scenario of the final 2 episodes.
You might call it a Tatami Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
Because what happens is he decides, yes, I will not join any circles. I will not attempt the rose-colored campus life.
To avoid a bad experience, I'll have no experience.
Exactly. And so he becomes the 4.5 tatami room ideologue. There's a long, long monologue about why it is the perfect way to set up a room. A 3 tatami room is too cramped. More than 4.5 tatamis, that's too big. You're going to get lost in there. What do you need all that space for?
You can't appreciate it.
Yes. 4.5 tatami room, perfect. Why go anywhere else? You just get everything you need. And one day, he goes to leave his 4.5 tatami room, and as he walks out the door, he walks into the same room.
And out of his one window, also the same room.
If he smashes the ceiling and sticks his head through, he finds that he is sticking his head through the floor of a 4.5 tatami room.
And he's running out of resources, and he doesn't have a bathroom in his 4.5 tatami room. He has a shared bathroom elsewhere.
He comes to understand that, like, oh, I noticed that in many of these rooms, there is a castella, a Japanese type of cake.
Like it's an angel food cake kind of situation that the show kind of presents as like something you're supposed to share with a loved
one. It's definitely too big for one person. And in every single, not every single, but in most of the loops, something happens which causes Ozu to give him this castella, as some sort of apology or payment.
Yes. And in this last one, we don't see Ozu. We just see the note on top of it, letting us know that the castella is from Ozu apologizing for a roach infestation that he caused.
Oh, yeah. Because that was one of the pranks, and the prank war was to do a cockroach bomb, which in an earlier episode worked correctly, which is they put it in the target's house, they opened it up, and it's this weird sort of brown cube that turns out to be a bunch of cockroaches. And just like, yeah, cockroach bomb didn't work, went off in here, sorry. And so he's like living off of these castellas that he just goes to another tatami room until he finds one with a castella in it. And because there are no other characters, we really get like the creme de la creme of this motherfucker talking to himself so goddamn fast. And if you have gotten this far into the series without giving it up, you are someone who appreciates the richness of this writing, and you are getting a fucking feast here.
Yeah, this is the true festering of self-isolation.
I mentioned that a lot of this character's way of thinking and feeling and justifying things feels so real and so like, oh, that's me from life. I have to be thankful that I did not ever hit this level where he is in the Tatami Galaxy, where he is fully stuck in his 4.5 tatami room and cannot through any means escape it and be anywhere else. And he mentions at one point that like why I loved staying in my room all the time was because I knew I could leave it.
Yes. Having the choice to go made being inside special.
Yes. His whole thing is like, if only I made the perfect choice, then everything would be great. And being the 4.5 tatami room ideologue who thinks that just being in the room and not seeing anyone and not doing anything is great is because it is the choice that cannot be perverted. You know, the result will always be what I thought it would be when I picked it, which has not been the case for any of these other fucking choices where I wanted the rose-colored campus life, but instead I had a series of hijinks and Ozu was there and he teased me. How fucking annoying.
And yet, even this perfect choice begins to smell bad because of the piling trash and bathroom stuff and everything else.
Oh, and this is when we pay off those little weird events from before, because he starts to notice that, like, as much as these rooms are identical, there are some subtle differences. Like, not all of them have the Castella, and not all of them have the same books. Like, I wanted to read this book, and it wasn't in this one, but it is in this other one. I wonder why. And he realizes that these are all of the different choices he could have made. These are all the different loops. And at one point, he looks through the window and sees himself, and he's like, me! And he jumps through to be like, help, help! And that's the fucking bit from episode 5!
And the reason these other rooms have seemed empty so much is because the other hymns were out there living in some kind of way.
And at one point, he notices that he finds a 1,000 yen note in the big pile of trash that he has in all of his rooms that he doesn't fucking touch because it's no man's land. It's the Siberian prison colony. Don't touch it. He finds that there's a 1,000 yen note in all of them, and he decides, hey, free money, baby. So he takes his backpack and he goes to every tatami room and finds the 1,000 yen note and has a lot of money, and eventually realizes, like, well, it's pointless to have this because I can't leave. So he just drops the backpack. And do you remember how there was the backpack with the mysterious funds for the proxy wars pranks? That's it. And it's like, oh, this is beautiful. I love this.
The loop structure pays off in such a huge way in these final 2 episodes.
And then, of course, we get the resolution that we were always going to get, that we knew we were going to get for episode 1, which is opportunity is always dangling in front of your eyes. All you have to do is take it. And I mean, he realizes, like, I miss all my people. I mean, he eventually comes around that, like, the reason he's traveling between all these rooms, not just, the logistical, like, I need to find a new Castella and a new one I haven't taken a crap in, is that, like, in all of these rooms, there is evidence of the people in his life. Hanuki, the dental hygienist, Jogasaki, the jock with Kari, the love doll, Higuchi, the master, Ozu, all these people, he wants to see ways in which these versions of himself has interacted with them. Like, he sees the pictures of him on the night out drinking with Hanuki, where, like, she got too handsy, and he's like, that was me. Like, I was like with the girl. She likes me? Like, he can't imagine it, and becomes the object of his obsession. Like, why did I not accept that? Like, why was that not enough? Like, I want that, so it's all I want now.
To be changed and let other people influence me as much as I can them. Like, to know who these people are that I've never bothered learning anything about.
Folks, this is Anime Sicko's podcast. He did it. This protagonist, he thought up Anime Sicko's decade before we did. This is what we're fucking talking about. It's all about having a chill time with your friend. That's the whole point of that's the reason you were born. It's the reason that you shouldn't do it now, because, like, there are other people out there who are gonna push you in a direction that you don't think that you would normally go. You're gonna go somewhere new, and it's gonna be fun, because even if it doesn't work out, you did it with your pal.
And far be it from me, as someone that you probably only know, if you know, from social media, but do not let social media become your 4.5 tatami room.
You mentioned something about social media, and before we started recording, that is, and the image of this character stuck in the Tatami Galaxy with Twitter chilled me to my core.
Would have been a nightmare. Like, this is from a time where, like, that was not the big thing. It's smartphones were existing, but, like, social media had not taken off in the way that we know it. And yeah, it would be awful to think of that being his only way of reaching out, because that kind of thing can convince you just to sit in your 4.5 tatami room and just, I don't know, just let all of the evil and awfulness of the world just, poison you, rather than having any experience with people or places or things or events or anything else that could just kind of light up your life even a little, despite how ugly things in the world can be.
Yes. Because the screen, the dehumanizing screen.
The flattening screen.
The flattening screen, the insidious thing about it. Well, the insidious thing, there's no fucking end to insidious things. One of the most insidious things about it is how it can and does. I mean, it does it to everybody.
More all the time.
It's not something that you can it's not something that you can outsmart. It tricks you into thinking that this is connection. And there are ways that you can use it to have real connection.
Absolutely.
But the sort of intended use, like the version of use that the creator of the platform was thinking about and has designed it to facilitate, is not fucking that. It is going to trick you that you are out of the room, that you are meeting other people. But no, you are trapping yourself deeper in the 4.5 tatami room than you ever could on your own. It is stripping your humanity from you. We were talking about this, like why is there so much fucking evil? Why is fascism so widespread? Well, obviously fascism comes from the fucking seat of white supremacy and capital, so it's always going to be around. But why is it so like popular? And it's like it's because of the fucking screen. It's because the screen tricks you into thinking that you are having experiences and having a social connection, and
it's giving you dopamine that you're lacking in other places in life, whether that be through rage or enjoying hurting somebody else.
It presents you a false reality, a rose color, or rather a blood colored campus life.
Another
that you
crimson palette. Yeah.
You can substitute your life with this imagined reality that is being fed to you by this propaganda machine, and thus you feel fulfilled. And talk about like, you talk about like old movies and shows that like, oh, if phones were around, you couldn't do it. Like this is it. This is the one. Like at one point he finds Ozu's phone in one of the tatami rooms, 4.5 tatami rooms, because he's left it there. And he's like, I got to send him a message to warn him about this or that. And it's a smartphone. And I about like screamed like, no, you're not supposed to have those. I think this was, when did the iPhone come out? 2008?
Yeah, thereabouts.
So this was made in 2010. So it was only 2 years old at this point. So smartphones were in their infancy, and I don't think that the ubiquity of Twitter the phone is the Twitter machine had not yet taken hold yet. So as much as it was a jump scare, fuck. And
I do hate to be an old man about it, but like one of the things that you kind of realize over time, because on one hand, I'm grateful that I was of an older generation that did not have the internet from birth. It was introduced to me later on. The other thing is like the purpose that I have learned again and again that social media best serves is kind of like sharing and making friends and everything, but then also using that platform to find ways to talk to your friends outside of the platform, or to meet people away from it and do something like this or a Discord or whatever you need, phone calls, whatever you have, or meeting each other. But like to only exist on the platform is the goal of that particular 4.5 tatami room. Like, I have had conversations with social media professionals who very grimly have told me that the job is not that connection that we all feel. The job is to make sure that you are always looking at that website, that you need it, whether that's getting into an online fight that you can't stop looking at to see if any more shots have been thrown, or to feel the dopamine of piling onto something or whatever. They want you looking at that no matter what, no matter how painful that is. And to a degree, if you don't have other things in your life, that's not living.
If you are stuck in the fucking Tatami Galaxy, what are you doing? Like, you're doing nothing.
Yeah, and to the Tatami Galaxy's point too, like one of the big reveals of the final episode is that almost none of the characters look the way that the narrator has shown us to them.
Most fucking prominently, Ozu looks like a normal guy. When he grabs the Mochikuban from the string and breaks out by grabbing the opportunity that's been in front of his eyes all along, and finally is able to leave his room. And like we enter a scene that was from the first episode, which is Ozu is running from a big angry mob. He is
very Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, he is dressed in drag. We don't know why the mob wants him other than the narrator saying like, well, he is a fucking guy who sucks ass. And so he makes everyone mad. So
And the drag dressing in this case is more that he's doing like a Bugs Bunny kind of thing instead of...
Yes.
Yeah.
So like we now know why he's doing all this. He's in drag because he wants to meet up with his girlfriend because his big dramatic plan to like get her on the stolen airship from the cult, that didn't work. So like he needs to lay low. So he's in disguise as he takes a boat to get to her.
And all the people he's pranked to make his dream come true have come to roost. It's a whole thing.
Yes. Yes, like, why are they all angry at him? Like, because in order for him to do this grand gesture of love for his girlfriend, like, he had to sort of take advantage of a bunch of circles and trick them and take things from them. And so, like, we now see the actual picture of, like, who Ozu is and why he's doing what he's doing. And he thus looks like a guy.
Yeah, he no longer has sharp teeth. He's got a much gentler face. And in this loop, he barely knows the protagonist at all. Like... but the protagonist is finally able to reach out to him. And, you know, in a lot of ways, like, I think about this and I think about the that R. Crumb panel people love passing by of the pissed off guy and the normal guy that's whistling a tune. You know,
yes.
It's like that is the relationship the protagonist has with Ozu. It's like I'm sick of this normal guy that's just moving through life doing all the things I wish I was doing.
One of the final shots of the series, which the first time I saw it, I was like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in an anime. The second time I've seen it, I thought this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in an anime. So in this, as Ozu is trying to escape the people who are out to get him, he breaks his leg, but our protagonist saves him from being rushed down the river. He starts, you know, going out with Akashi-san. He finally gives her back her Mochi Gumon, and he fulfills the promise. In the beginning, she kept saying, like, when are you going to keep your promise? And he's like, what are you fucking talking about? He promised her early on. He talks about Neko Ramen, this mysterious...
magical realist food truck.
It's a ramen cart that's like, is it real? Like, what it always shows up in different places, and it never says where it will be, but somehow I always know. And it makes the best ramen. Some say they use actual cats in the broth, but there's no proof.
But it's so delicious that we don't question it.
And she's like, oh, that sounds interesting. Take me. And he's like, sure, that's a promise.
In episode 1, she told him that.
And he never remembers. He never remembers when she says, when are you going to keep your promise? He's like, huh? What? And he finally takes her to Neko Ramen, and we get the incredible line as we pan up into the sky, which is just like, well, I'm not going to tell you that it's not the purpose of this program to tell you the details of Akashi-san and my relationship. Nothing is more boring to tell than the story of successful love. And we just like cut to like they're together. Okay, I'm digressing from the thing I said I was going to talk about, but I just got to focus on this. Yeah. You could make the criticism that Akashi-san, as the main woman character in the show, does not have a lot of screen time or development. And that is true. Like, objectively, yes. However, that makes sense because we're getting this entire story from the point of view of our protagonist, who does not think about or understand anyone ever other than himself. So the fact that, like, we really never get a sense of her interiority is like, well, that's because you know who else isn't?
That's right. Well, but it's funny too, like the times we do get stuff from her, like, oh, she's interested in being in the Birdman Club. She wants to create a plane that can make a person fly like a human. And she picks the protagonist in that episode going like, hey, you have a very frail bird-like body, and that works perfectly for me. And him being like the self-loathing like person he is that can't see other people's perspective, he like bulks up and works out too much for the plane to even work because he thinks like, oh, well, I'll be perfect for that. It's like, no, she already told you you're fine as you are.
Yeah. And of course, his efforts ruin everything because he thinks that, oh, it's like a plane that you pedal. So like, I got to get buff so I can pedal it really good and be the best pilot. And no, it's an unpowered glider that needs a really, really light payload.
It's engineered for your body weight.
And now you're too heavy, asshole. She made something so that you could fly. She wants you to fly. You fucker. Anyway. they're together now.
Yeah.
So,
and that's where it leaves us. Like, we don't have to know anything else about the relationship. Like,
yeah. But the last bit that like, oh, this is a great masterpiece show, is he and Akashi now together go and visit Ozu in the hospital. He's been laid up with his broken leg. And they're talking, and our protagonist starts teasing Ozu about, like, when am I going to meet the lady? Like, this is all for her. Special. Like, you must really like her. But, and like, he's giving him shit. Ozu is like, no, what are you doing? And like, why are you teasing me so much? And when this question was put to Ozu in his demon form in every other episode, he says, that's just the way I show love, which we were led to believe it was a sarcastic way of justifying the cruelty he loves. And now, when the protagonist is asked, why are you teasing me so much? He says, that's just the way I show love. And his face turns to Ozu's face. He becomes the demon. Ozu's... You said this before we recorded. I wrote it down because it's the best. We are all someone's Ozu. I would like to amend that to be, we should all be so lucky to be someone's Ozu.
That's right. And to have others be ours.
Yes. To be the friction, to be the push, to be that which does not allow you to stay in your head, the 4.5 tatami room of your soul. You have to leave. You have to go out and do other things. The chilling and hanging is so important.
And to be someone that is going to, contrast and compare to you in ways that like aren't just you or the friend that you always imagined. Like that's just not life. Like, you're going to meet people who have, things in common and things that are going to rub you, slightly off. But like, that too is living, as long as what they're doing and as long as what they're working toward and that you're working toward in return is the betterment and improvement of one another.
Yeah. Fuck, man. This is a masterpiece show.
Yes.
I love this.
And having friends is really good. Like, this is a power of friendship show in a very different way than anime usually portrays the power of friendship.
I think about my college experience, and I always make a joke about DePaul University, my alma mater, being a joke school for pranks, by which I mean almost none. The number of exceptions can be counted on one hand. Almost none of my classes had really any educational value in a way that mattered. It was just fucking filler time. But I must admit that my having gone to DePaul University and lived my campus life is so responsible for who I am today and what I do and what I'm all about, in a way that, like, I don't think I'm capable of fully appreciating how crucial it had been for me. Like, the people I've met, the connections I've made. Like, why am I doing this show today, and why do I have all of this community of listeners who are so fucking cool and so creative and interesting? Why am I able to talk to people like you? You were the guy who posted fucking manga panels, and I went, wow, what a manga! I gotta check that out. He's so cool. And now I'm talking to you now about Tatami Galaxy,
and we talk fairly often too. Like, it's yes, yeah, it's all because those connections we make.
Yeah, like how did I fucking meet Joe? Well, say that, like, it's all because, like, in this special time, this critical time for my development, I met a bunch of weirdos. I mentioned, I don't think I've ever told this story on the podcast, but some of my best friends in the world who I have not been on this show, but I still talk to them very regularly. I went to, like, one of those freshman mixers in, like, the first month of college, and I expected to not meet. I was that fucking guy. I was the protagonist who's like, I got to make 100 friends, but I have a feeling that I won't because I'm in my head and I won't ever take any action. Oopsie, that sucks for me. And I saw these two guys who I remember having met previously very briefly. And I'm like, I should go say hi to them because I already know them. And I saw them start miming Hadoukens on each other. And I said in my head, oh, Jesus Christ, I hope these guys don't become my best friends. And they did. And like that.
But again, that was you having to work past that like initial yokai impression you put onto the.
Yes, exactly. But
and
what a great show.
Something else I take from Tatami Galaxy 2, and it is something I very often think about in life, is that like there have been a lot of things in my life that I regret, or there's certain things that are very tragic in my background, all these other things, or decisions that I made in college that I wish I could take back and go back to, or have imagined different pathways through, or whatever, and what have you. But I also remind myself every time I think about those that if the things in my life that have been bad, if I didn't have those bad experiences, the sum of who I am today would not be the same. And I like who I am today. So I have to owe those bad experiences to what I am now. And as long as I can go like, hey, I like who I am now, or if I don't, I'm going to like who I'm going to be tomorrow, because I'm going to keep trying and I'm going to keep putting myself out there and just trying to be the version of me that's as close to me as it can be. But again, without all of the terrible things and sadness and regret and pain and whatever have you, like mixed in with all of the good things, those other colors that mix in with the rose-colored expectation of life, that forms the whole. Now I'm talking to my friend on a podcast. I'm in an apartment I like. I have a menial job that I don't hate at the moment. I have a spouse. And I would not have had any of those things if I hadn't gone through all the other stuff, good and bad, to get there.
And further, I mean, like, if you do start feeling that temptation of like, if only I could go back and change, it's like you, as the master said, like, you are the person that you are. If you could edit the past, like, sure, you would be a different version of you, but you would still be you.
Yeah.
So like the only person who can make you is you. You have the opportunity dangling in front of your eyes at all times. All you have to do is take it. And that sounds like it's contradictory to what you just said. I do not think so. I think this is a sort of two-pronged thing. You have to understand that both you are you, and you will always be you. And if you feel like you are not the person you want to be, that is a internal choice and an internal work that needs doing.
Just don't trap yourself in the room of the past, imagining what could have been, when you still have time and life to be who you want to be.
Yes, but also at the same time, the randomness and unpredictability of your experiences will push you like a helpful little Ozu into experiences that will, I think, here's what it is. The experiences force you to make that decision about who you are going to be.
Yeah.
You decide who you are, but your decisions are influenced by what has happened to you.
Yeah.
And you can't shoot, and you cannot set up a series of stimulus that forces you to choose to be something that you have like decided in advance. What am I trying to say? Yeah. You can't be yes.
Yeah, it's the ways that your experiences inform your perspective now, and how the decision points you make are sometimes informed by those other decisions, and what has worked and hasn't worked, and all these things that kind of culminate.
Mm-hmm. And if you try to set up a path for yourself that has no room for error, you will be fucked up, and your brain will go nuts. And
no room for error, or no room for the pure avoidance of having a possibly bad experience by choosing no experience at all.
God, that's me at every bar and
me too.
Concert.
Me too. I assume if you're listening to this, some degree of you as well. I went to a concert the other day, and I bumped into a couple people who had seen me online, and we had a very nice conversation about this, that, and whatever, But again, that was taking whatever I'd done and going out and just seeing people, and that was great.
I went to a concert last night, and I didn't say a fucking word the whole time. I still have work to do, folks.
And, hey, I say that. I've still been to a lot of other concerts where I do that exact thing. It's just, again, there is no, I don't know. It's life is complex, but just choose who you want to be, and also accept who you are. It sounds so plain, but it really does come down to that.
This is why, like I said, at the very beginning, you watch episode 1 and you say, is this the whole point? Like, is the point of all this just like, get out of your head and kiss her, man? And it's like, yeah, but like, unfortunately, that's really difficult.
Yes, and the show, even on balance, shows you, hey, there's some times where you go like, oh, I should kiss this person because they're available, and then it goes like, hey, you know what? You actually made the right choice there in not doing that. Like only you can know what's right at the time.
I love that the Johnny, the the personification of his sex drive, which appears in like 2 or 3 episodes, is in the opening.
Yes.
When they like cut between all the characters, they include Johnny and Johnny's horse with like the same level of like importance as like Ozu and Higuchi. I love it.
Honestly, I also believe that normal Ozu is one of the images that flashes by in the opening, but it's so quick.
No way. I gotta check that again.
I think somewhere in there you see the regular Ozu with the sharp-toothed one. Like it's, yeah. You know, and I hate to sound so schmaltzy because like I know, like I understand that the world is an ugly place, especially right now. I understand very well through, you know, very personal experience that I don't talk about online. But you know, we're all going through our stuff. We're all struggling through something, and my advice to you as a man you know from the internet is to go find the stuff that you're passionate about that's not the internet, and to just meet people and love yourself and do whatever you can. Like for me, that's my spouse and I when we get to go out into the woods and I get to look for like cool bugs and birds and reptiles and stuff. And I know, you know, Tom, you just had the you know, the night of geniuses, night for geniuses. Like it's for you, that performance thing, you know, and you just have to go out there and experience the good and the bad to figure out what that thing is for you. And I really hope you all find it.
Yeah, it's
and it might be all kinds of different things before your life is over. You know, you just have to take the risk.
You'll never be perfect. You'll never have the life you want, and you may make the wrong choice. But in the end, it's not about the choice. It's that you made one at all. It's that you got out of the 4.5 tatami room. It's that you're not in the Tatami Galaxy. Oh, tatami is a rectangular mat that they put on the floor in Japan.
Very common in cheap Japanese apartments and homes and all kinds of things.
Should have mentioned that.
I hope that people listening to the Anime Sickos know what a tatami mat is, but you never know.
A 4.5 tatami room is a perfect square. That's the point that...
Also,
that's the point.
Also, I believe the novel, which I have unfortunately was not able to read before all this, is 4 chapters plus like an epilogue, so it's a 4.5 structure.
Ooh, that's good. Ooh, I like that a lot. Great anime. Great. Also, I'm not gonna get too into this because how can we explain it? The music is off the chain. I love the soundtrack in this anime, and it is by Michiru Oshima, who is a composer of, and I'm looking at her Wikipedia page, and I'm about to hit you with some numbers, listeners, that are going to make you go, oh, here they are. She has written scores for over 100 films, over 200 television titles, video games, various types of events, concert theaters, among others. Oshima is one of the most prolific living composers for film, anime, and video games. She has released over 300 CDs. Unbelievable.
And you may recognize her from the Ico soundtrack, from Zelda, the Twilight Princess, from various Godzilla films. Like, so many things that you probably know and never knew.
Yeah. Well, I was going to be like, and this is one of her best, but how the fuck would I know?
Yeah. Like, there's some deep cuts in there that you have no idea.
To have even listened to like a fifth of her oeuvre in order to make the judgment would take months. So what I will say is that the music in this fucking series is on point, and she was cooking big time. I mean, there's really no part of this series that is not top fucking shelf. Art design incredible, animation incredible. The direction, I mean, Masaki Yuasa is a legend for a reason.
Watch more Masaki Yuasa anime. That is my main plug. Listen to Anime Sickos, support Tom and Joe, and watch more Masaki Yuasa anime, because by God, the man is one of the certified greats of our time.
I mean, you can hear people like talk and pontificate about like animation has so many potentials for like filmic expression, and you want to actually see it. You want to see someone using that potential, and actually like using the sort of elasticity of a drawn image to do something weird with it that is connected to the fact that it is a drawn image. You're going to want to watch Masaki Yuasa. You're going to want to watch this shit. We've already talked about what is perhaps his most famousest one, most biggest hit, Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken. That's because it fucking rules. It also is fucking classic. Ping pong to animation.
One of my all-time faves. Love ping pong.
But man, the Tatami Galaxy is pretty much perfect.
A masterpiece.
10 out of 10. Anime to watch for all human beings. Watch this shit. You must do it.
But especially for our fellow sickos, just go and watch Tatami Galaxy. My God.
I think that's all. Are we done? Did we talk about it?
I think we did. I think we more than talked about it, and I feel really good about it. Thanks for having me on to talk anime.
It was my pleasure. I love this shit, and as much as I am loath to speak of anime and anime sickos, this is one that I will always speak of with pride and without reservation, because as I say, this is like real art for geniuses and will make you smart, and you're not a pervert if you watch this.
And if and when you want to do it again, just give me a call.
Hell yeah. Anything you want to plug? I don't know.
You know what? I gotta say, I don't feel like plugging internet stuff after the conversation we had. So if you want to find me, you'll find the way. Otherwise, just go find whatever it is in your life that you enjoy, even if that takes a couple bad experiences to find the right one for you.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to plug for you. I'm doing this in your stead. Imagine this was coming out of Casey's mouth. You should go outside and try and take a photograph of a funny bug, or perhaps some street art of a kooky character.
I like this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, do that for you. And if I happen to see it along the way, all the better. But you know what? Just do that for you and share it with the people in your life.
Dude, sorry, I just thinking about you and seeing street art. I got to tell you this. This happened the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Folks, I live near these big concrete sort of like pillar thingies. They were once holding up I think like train tracks, but now they're just like the bottom still there, but there's nothing on top. Yeah. And on the end of one, a street artist who goes by the name CLS, who does wood art, where he like puts up wood with different colors and makes art out of the wood.
I saw you took me the one time I visited Chicago to see the really cool one that had the UFO with the tractor beams made of wood, which was amazing.
Yes, there's a mini one. I know it's CLS because it has the UFO fucking motif right outside my house on the end of one of these concrete barriers. And it was great. I was so happy to see it all the time. I showed you it. I showed you and your partner, and I'm like, look at how cool this is. This just got put up a couple weeks ago. Amazing. It was gorgeous. A fucking garbage truck that was going into the apartment complex that I live right by was backing up so that it could turn in, and it hit the fucking concrete and smashed it to smithereens. It's gone.
It's awful. You know what? I'll say though, that is for me one of the biggest draws of photographing like odd street art and animals is that regrettably those things that I find both things so beautiful, but they are ephemeral, and you'll see them maybe once and never again. So just capturing an image for yourself to preserve it in some kind of way so that other people can know it ever existed, that's a really cool thing. And it's very tragic to lose that really good street art to just a very mundane accident like that. But I'm grateful that I was able to see it. I'm grateful that you showed it to me, and I'm grateful that I was able to get a photograph of it to prove that it was ever there before that happened.
Hell yeah. That was a rose-colored day for sure when we were hanging out. And you know what? You know why? It's because I didn't have a plan. I didn't have the perfect path. I was just like, let's fucking go around. And that was the day.
And hopefully we're able to do that kind of chill hang again in the future. And listener, I hope you're able to have a chill hang right now too.
Watch this Tatami Galaxy. Watch it with your pal. Watch it with your Ozu. Mm-hmm. Watch it with the person who you are Ozu for. Again, like, we should all be so lucky to be Ozu.
And then look at them and see if their facial features have changed at all to you.
I sometimes feel like I'm Joe's Ozu when I'm just like, you gotta record, bitch. It's time, man. But you know, that's what gets us Anime Sicko. So who's to say what's right and wrong? I am. It's right. Anyway, that's all the time we have. Thank you, Casey, aka MinovskyArticle,
aka an Anime Sicko.
Hell yeah, this was real. I love it. Tatami Galaxy forever. We need to watch the spiritual sequel film, The Night is Short, Walk On Girl, and make that a fucking Patreon thing so that people will pay me more money so that I can get money because I need it.
Yes.
Give me a job.
My goal is to see that you and Joe are financially stable. So like let's do that. I'm on board already.
Beautiful. We'll do that later. Anyway, until then, I've been Tom and Anime Sicko.
And I've been Minovsky, aka Casey, an Anime Sicko.
Bye-bye. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Great TV show, Tatami Galaxy. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Tom Harrison. Joe was also a sicko. You can follow him on Blue Sky at Sharia Uncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Blue Sky at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. You can give us money at patreon.com/Anime Sickos if you want. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.